Hey everyone, you're with your friend Sharon again, and I've made you all a promise. And that promise was about sharing the briefs that Frans and I talk about on our Sunday lives. Okay, so the last Sunday, that was the 13th of July, we spoke about making a decision and making choices. And are they different? Yes, they most certainly are. There is quite a difference actually between a choice and a decision. And today I'm just going to be using some very simple scenarios. Okay, so first of all, let's take a look at a decision. All right, so a decision creates unique paths for us. All right, and that decision is a cognitive process. The act of selecting or deciding. Okay, so it's the act of selecting or deciding what we're going to be doing. And that also involves mental or emotional work. So, okay, our choices shapes our tomorrows. They shape our tomorrows. And the choice is the outward result of the option you selected from the decision that you made, for the decisions that you were making. Okay, so, and then we take a look at our options. All right, so what are our options? Well, in psychology, an option is the mental process involving an evaluation or weighing up of options that are often influenced by our emotions, our belief systems, and our experiences. So let's just check out some of these options. So say you get out of bed tomorrow morning, or you got out of bed this morning and you were making a decision about whether you're going to have a coffee, tea, or a hot chocolate. Choices. Okay, so what are you going to choose? All right, so you're thinking about a holiday. So where do you want to go? Hawaii, Rarotonga, Fiji? Okay, options are endless. So you go to a restaurant and you're ordering from a menu. So what are you going to order? A steak, chicken, or that piece of fish? All right. And then you start asking yourself, do I stay in that job? Do I stay in that job? Okay, do I stay in this relationship or with that friendship? Okay. Do I take that job offer in Auckland? Just suppose you were offered a job in Auckland or Tauranga or Rotorua or Wellington. So, or you decide in the morning, well, am I going to take a walk along the beach? Am I going to go by the river? Am I going to go for a bushwalk? All right. Or am I going to buy that house? It's a few extra grand, but am I going to buy it? Do I need, is this what I choose to have? And these are the decisions that we're thinking about. Okay, so all of our decisions, all of our choices, with all the options, simply start with a thought. Then the decision comes along, and then onto the action, which is the choice. Okay, so the choice is the option you selected among the two or more possibilities. So say, for instance, you get up in the morning and you pick the coffee. Okay, you chose the coffee. And you've chosen Hawaii for the holiday. Oh, woohoo. Fantastic. Great destination. You've chosen fish from the menu for health reasons, perhaps. Who knows? So, and you take that job in Auckland, the one that was offered to you, and also you move away from people or relationships that no longer are aligning with you. All right, and so, or you decide, and also that your walk, you decide to go for a walk along the beach. Okay, so you've gone for your beach walk. So as we go through life, gosh, there's so much wind today, and there's just lots of stuff lying around. Sorry, folks. So so through life, we are often faced with tough decisions, and that have to, and often they lead to significant changes in our lives. So how do we navigate a difficult decision? When we've got our emotions involved, the moral complexities, which could be your ethics, and often causing anxiety and a little bit of overwhelm. It'll place us in a bit of overwhelm. All right, so I'm going to show you a wee exercise that we did on the live that will help clear the fog of indecisiveness. All right, so first of all, I'm just going to grab my diagram. All right, so this is called my decision checklist. Okay, so this is it here. So I'm hoping you can see that. Okay, my decision checklist. Pretty easy, really. All right, now Frans and I use this checklist all the time when we have to make a difficult decision. All right, so first of all, on the checklist is firstly define the decision you need to make. Define it. What's the decision all about? Is it about the job? Is it about the relationship? Is it about moving house? Is it about moving town? Okay. Now, number 2 is what are the options available to me? So, what are the consequences of those options? So we can, and always, when there are, every time we make a decision about something, there are consequences. They're great consequences, or there could be not so good consequences. All right, so first define the decision you need to make. Define it. Then what are your options available to you? All right, now, of course, you might have 2 or 3 decisions that you may need to make. So you look at 1, 2, or 3, or A, B, and C. And then you look at the positive sides and the negative sides of those decisions that you'll need to make. All right, so look at, it's kind of, and like I pointed out here, it's all the positive choices and the negative, the pros and cons, okay, and so on and so on. Okay, you might have 6 scenarios, you might have 6 options, you might have 6 decisions to make. Now, also it says here, I be specific about it, is be honest and be as specific as possible to include all your emotions, all the practicalities, and the long-term impacts, if any. All right. And so number 3 on that list is a biggie, okay? Number 3 is a biggie. And that is your core values. What matters most to you and what aligns with you in your life? What aligns with you? Is it the freedom to be you? Is it about your stability? You want to feel stable. You want to feel safe in your life. Is it about your spiritual growth? Is it about your honesty and integrity? Is it about love, compassion, and peace? All of that can go on and on and on. Okay, so be aware of what your values are. So write those and be very specific about your values too. All right, so because I want to remind you that your values are your compass, okay, when logic and your emotions clash with one another, okay, and they do, especially in times of indecisiveness. Now, the next part of this exercise is number 4. Okay, I'm guessing that I'm hoping that this is all you can be able to read this and it's not going to be back to front. Oh, gosh. Anyway, so I will read it out to you. Listen to your head, but don't stay in there for too long, okay? Because listening to your head... Hang on. So listening to your head, don't stay in there for too long because our head is for thinking and it does bring in logic. It brings in facts and patterns also. All right, so also listen to your heart. Listening to your heart, because this is where your intuition and where some of your emotions, for the love of what you want to do, and your inner truths sit. Okay, so it's really important that you follow number 4 to the letter. Don't stay in the head for too long, but it's okay to bring the logic in. Bringing facts and patterns in, and also listening to your heart, because that's where your intuition and your inner truths are. So, and number 5, imagine if your future forecast or a scenario, okay, when you're making this decision, how would that decision and the choice look like in a month, a year, 5 years? And how meaningful or peaceful would your future look? Okay, and how does that feel? So write all that down. Kind of like mapping out your life, really. And number 6 is really important. I'd like to think that we can use our intuition, our inner GPS system, to guide us through the decisions that we need to make. However, if you kind of get stuck and you just, you are indecisive and your emotions are all in the way, your anxiety and anxiety is sort of like through the roof, or you're a little bit anxious about making a decision and you're in overwhelm, seek wise counsel. But be very careful about listening to opinions from others. So the wise counsel I'm speaking about is someone with experience who shares similar values to you. All right? Someone who will listen and see you, and avoid too many voices, because it creates too much noise up in here. Okay? It creates too much noise. Now, I've met quite a few people in my life over the years who have gone from one psychic to another in the hope of receiving all the answers that they're needing, without first checking in with themselves and running with that checklist. So without checking in with themselves. And oftentimes when we're making a decision, the very first thought, the very first feeling that we had about the decision is always the right one. But then we bring the logic in, and then the confusion comes in, and then we're like, okay, so we're done, we're all screwed up now, I don't know where to go from here. So by choosing wisely, we get to embrace, we get to embody, and we get to manifest the journey ahead for us. How amazing is that? So make your choices rooted in your values, not someone else's, and not because someone said you had to do it. And when you make your own decisions along with your choices, do not bend from them. Do not bend. Once that decision's made, once you've made that decision, it's yours. Okay. So others will not or may not understand your perspective, and are or will be quick, very quick actually, to judge, criticize, and to gossip about it. And often they do it from a place of resentment, perhaps jealousy, and maybe even anger. Or they just simply don't get you or the decisions and the choices that you want to make for you. Okay, so every choice that we make reflects our deepest desires. It's true. It does. The changes that we seek and the goals that we yearn to achieve. Okay, so not everyone will understand you, and not everyone will support you. Okay, or support the decisions and the choices that you make, but they are yours to make. Okay, and they were never meant for anyone else. They were yours. They were for you. So here I am as a spiritual educator. And my desire is this information helps you to make the right decisions and the choices you desire. So thank you for listening in, and I hope that this has helped you. So until we meet again, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic week. But do that checklist for yourself, okay? So bye for now, and be amazing. Be amazing. Bye.